Imagine driving down Jamaica's north-south highway, the one that dramatically cut travel time and connected communities that once felt worlds apart. You probably never gave much thought to who built it, or what their next move might be. But what if I told you that the very same company responsible for that massive transformation now has its sights set on something even bigger, something that could change the way thousands of Jamaicans live, work, and raise their families? This story isn't about just another highway or hotel. It's about an untouched stretch of coastline, a bold vision, and a decision that could either become one of Jamaica's greatest success stories or one of its biggest regrets. It all began in 2014, when the China Harbor Engineering Company, better known as CHEC, had already proven itself as a powerhouse in infrastructure. Their work on the North-South Highway wasn't just about roads. It was about connecting lives and reshaping the island's geography. That same year, they quietly acquired a massive 740-acre property in Mammy Bay, St. Anne. At first, their plans were straightforward. A high-end luxury resort aimed at wealthy tourists, perfectly positioned near famous attractions like Dunn's River Falls. On paper, it seemed like a win-win. More tourists would mean more foreign dollars, more jobs, and more international attention for Jamaica. But as time passed, something changed. Imagine buying land to build a vacation home, but as your family grows and your needs evolve, you realize it's no longer just about weekends away. You need something more permanent. That's exactly what happened with this project. CHEC's original idea of a luxury resort began to feel too small, too temporary. They started asking themselves a bigger question. Should this land be used only for visitors? Or could it become a lasting community for Jamaicans themselves? Over the years, Jamaica's housing crisis became impossible to ignore. Cities were expanding, families were struggling to find affordable, well-planned homes, and overcrowding was creating serious challenges. CHEC saw an opportunity to step in, not just as builders of temporary spaces for tourists, but as creators of permanent homes for local residents. And so, the vision evolved. What began as a resort gradually transformed into something much more ambitious, a full-scale residential development designed to function like a small city. This wasn't going to be a quick build. The project was carefully divided into 6 phases, planned over 5.5 years. Each phase would lay the foundation for the next, ensuring durability and long-term growth rather than rushed, chaotic expansion. The housing itself would be diverse and inclusive. Modern townhouses surrounded by green spaces for families, compact, stylish apartments for young professionals or smaller households, designs for retirees, single parents, and even multi-generational families, all tailored to meet different needs and budgets. But housing was just the beginning. CHEC envisioned schools within walking distance, retail centers for everyday essentials, parks and playgrounds, sports courts, and winding walking trails. These weren't just extra features, they were part of a bigger idea, to create a place where people wouldn't just live, but truly thrive. Picture waking up in Mammy Bay. You walk your child to school in 10 minutes, grab a coffee at a local cafe, work remotely from a shared office space, and spend your evening unwinding in a shaded park as the Caribbean sun sets. That's the lifestyle this project is promising to deliver, a balance between modern convenience and the natural beauty Jamaica is famous for. Environmental responsibility was a central focus. The development planned to use eco-friendly materials and sustainable designs. Systems for recycling gray water, harvesting rainwater, and reducing reliance on scarce freshwater sources were all built into the blueprint. Even stormwater management and traffic flow were being engineered to avoid the mistakes that so often come with rapid development. But despite these efforts, one major question remained. What about the land itself? The untouched coastal ecosystem, the history, the roots of the people who have called this area home for generations. As plans moved forward, concerns grew louder. Environmentalists worried about the potential destruction of fragile habitats. Local residents questioned whether this progress would truly benefit them or push them out. Cultural historians raised alarms about losing pieces of Jamaica's heritage forever. CHEC responded by making public commitments. They announced protective buffer zones around sensitive areas like the Roaring River watershed to prevent runoff and protect biodiversity. They also promised strict compliance with Jamaica's environmental regulations, highlighting their previous success with the North-South Highway as proof they could handle a project of this scale responsibly. Yet promises alone weren't enough to silence doubts. Because every major development comes with the same critical questions: who really benefits, and at what cost? On the surface, the potential economic benefits are undeniable. During construction, thousands of jobs will be created, from laborers and engineers to architects and project managers. This isn't just employment, it's also training and skill development that could have ripple effects across Jamaica's workforce. Once the community is built, even more opportunities emerge. New residents mean demand for schools, clinics, grocery stores, transportation, and countless other services. That demand could fuel entrepreneurship and small business growth, creating a cycle of prosperity. Rising property values could increase tax revenue, which, if managed wisely, could fund even larger infrastructure improvements across the island. But here's the other side of the scale. Rising property values can also mean rising rent and taxes, pricing out the very people the development was supposed to help. Public services could be overwhelmed if expansion outpaces upgrades to roads, utilities, and hospitals. Traffic congestion might skyrocket. And worst of all, the unique character of Mammy Bay, the very thing that made it special in the first place, could be lost forever. It's a delicate balance: opportunity versus responsibility. Build too fast, and you risk long-term harm. Build too cautiously, and you miss the chance to create meaningful change. Today, bulldozers are moving, plans are being executed, and public consultations are underway. But nothing about this project is set in stone. Its future depends on decisions being made right now by developers, government leaders, and most importantly, the people of Jamaica. For some, this is a story of hope, jobs, homes, and a brighter future. For others, it's a story of loss: natural beauty destroyed, local families displaced, and culture erased. Both sides care deeply, but they see progress through different lenses. What makes this moment so important is not that it's the first development of its kind, but that it could set the standard for everything that comes after. The way this project is handled will shape not just Mammy Bay, but the future of development across Jamaica. So, what happens next? That depends on whether the promises of balance, sustainability, and community are kept or broken. The story of Mammy Bay isn't finished yet. It's still being written by every choice, every voice, and every action taken today. And one day, when people walk through the streets of this new community, they'll either see a vision fulfilled or a warning of what happens when ambition outpaces wisdom. What do you think this future should look like?